Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the elementary grade. Our textbook is Weekend 3 and today inshallah we will cover Unit 1. It's nice to meet you. Grammar in action on page 4. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazen al-Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Salih al-Ajan. So let's begin. Quick revision in our last lesson. In our last lesson, we did learn 3 important questions. And we said that when we meet a new partner, we usually ask them or ask him 3 important questions. These questions are the first, what's your name? And how old are you? And where do you live? And we says that when we ask these 3 questions, where we listen to the personal information from our partner. So in our last lesson, where we have our friend Jack introduce himself by saying, "Hi, I am Jack. What's your name?" So when Jack introduced himself to his partner and asked him the first important question, which is, "What's your name?" And his partner says, "My name is Hashim. My name is Hashim." And then Jack continued and asked him the second important question, which is, "How old are you? How old are you?" And his friend says, or his partner says, "I am 11 years old." And these are, as we can see here, the 2 important pieces of information where his partner says. The first one was his name, Hashim, and the second one was his age, 11 years old. And not only these 2 questions, but also we did listen to the third question, which is, where do you live? Where do you live? What is the name of the city where you live? And he says, "I live in Jeddah. I live in Jeddah." So in this conversation, we did practice the 3 important questions. And we did listen to 3 personal information. The first information is about the name. What's your name? And the second information is about the age. How old are you? And the third piece of information is about the place. Where do you live? And we said that when you introduce or when you meet your partner for the first time, we usually ask them these 3 questions. And after we listen or after we get to know our partner, then we can close the conversation by saying, "Nice to meet you," as Jack did, where he says, "Nice to meet you," and Hashim says, "Nice to meet you too." So after we listen to this conversation, and also after we practiced and repeated the 3 important questions, we went on and practiced these 3 questions again, but with our partner. And we said that try to practice these 3 important questions. What's your name? How old are you? Where do you live? Try to practice them with your partner. Maybe could be a family member or could be a classmate or even a friend of yours. Ask them these 3 questions and write down the answers in these blanks. So when we do this, or when we did this, I gave an example of my friend and I asked him a question, "What's your name?" He says, "My name is Ali." And I ask him again, "How old are you?" He says, "I am 7 years old." And I asked him the third question. Where do you live? And he says, I live in Riyadh. I live in Riyadh. And also with the second page, on page 3, we did learn what do you mean by verbs to be, or what are the verbs that we call these are the verbs to be. We said that we have, or we did learn 2 verbs to be. The first one is. This is the first verb to be. And we gave an example by saying, for when we use the pronoun he, like, he is my brother. He is my brother. And she is my sister. She is my sister. So we use the pronoun he and she with the verb to be is. And also, we use the pronoun they with the verb to be are. For example, if I am looking at my brother and my sister, I would say, they are my family. They are my family. So, we use the pronoun they with the verb to be are. And after this, we did listen to different people talking or answering the 3 questions that we have practiced. We said that the questions are, what's your name? How old are you? And where do you live? So we ask different people these questions, and when we listen to their answers, then we did circle the correct age of each one of them. We did listen to Abdullah, Faisal, Saeed and Badr, Amal and Nawal and Noura. We listened to them talking or answering the 3 questions, and also we practiced circling the correct age of each one of them. So this is mostly what we have covered in our last lesson. Now, in today's lesson, what we're going to do is that we're going to use the possessive pronouns to give personal information, and also we're going to match object to persons using possessive forms. So what I would like you to do now is to open your books on page 4. I would like you please to open your books on page 4. Now, on page 4, what we're going to do here is we're going to listen to this girl. So as you can see on your books, this girl has a photo frame of her family. And what we need to do is we're going to listen to her while she is talking about her family. Not only this, but also we're going to write numbers according to the people she is pointing at. So again, this girl has a photo frame of her family. And what we're going to do is, after we listen to her and also after repeating what she has said, what we need to do now is to write down the numbers in the blanks just to point at the person or the people she talked about in these sentences. So now let's begin by listening to this girl. She says, "Hello, my name is Kim. I am 11 years old and I live in New York." So our friend here, her name is Kim. She is 11 years old and she lives in New York. She lives in New York. So these are the 3 personal information we did know about this girl. Her name is Kim. She's 11 years old and she lives in New York. So Let's listen to what Kim is about to say. Number 1. This is my mother. Her name is Jasmine. This is my mother. Her name is Jasmine. So on your books, you would see Kim is pointing in the photo frame, is pointing to her mother. So here what we need to do is to write down number 1. To write down number 1 in this sentence. Now, let's listen one more time, and I would like you to repeat after me number 1. This is my mother. Her name is Jasmine. Very well. Now let's listen to the second sentence. The second sentence is, these are my sisters. Their names are Judy and Rose. Now, repeat after me. These are my sisters. Their names are Judy and Rose. Very well. So you would see also on your books where Kim is pointing at her sisters. So what you need to do now is to write down number 2 in the right blank. Now, let's listen to the third one. This is our little brother. His name is Pete. Now, repeat after me. This is our little brother. His name is Pete. So, also, you're going to see Kim pointing at a boy. And this boy is her brother. So what we need to do here is to write down number 3 in the right blank. Now, after we finish, or after we did listen to Kim introducing her family, talking about her brother Pete, and also introducing her mother Jasmine, and also her sisters Judy and Rose. Now we're going to move on to the second exercise we have in this page, which is listen, point, and say, then write. So now let's talk about Kim. And here we have different sentences talking about the family or the picture we have just practiced. So what we need to do is we're going to write down the names of the people we did listen to. So the first one is we start with Kim. When Kim introduced herself, she says, my name is Kim. My name is Kim. Now this is the first sentence. The second sentence is, your name is, and here you need to write your name. Your name is. So here you can write your name. Your name is Ali. Your name is Noura. So here, the second sentence, you write your own name. And the third sentence, his name is Pete. His name is Pete. And here we are talking about her brother. His name is Pete. So we started the first sentence talking about Kim, or when Kim talking about herself. My name is Kim. Your name is Noura. His name is Pete, her brother. And her name is Jasmine, her mother. Her name is Jasmine. And we still have her sisters, or Kim and her mother. And when we're talking about Kim herself and her mother, we use our. Our names are Jasmine and Kim. Our names are Jasmine and Kim. So we started with Kim introducing herself. My name is Kim. Your name is Nura, for example. His name is Pete, my brother. Her name is Jasmine, my mother. Our names are Jasmine and Kim. And your names are, now you can write your name and also your partner's name. You can write them here. You can say, for example, in this one, your names are Nura and Sarah, or your names are Ali and Saeed. Now, moving on to the other pronoun, their names are her sisters. Their names are Judy and Rose. Their names are Judy and Rose. So all of these sentences is about the photo frame of Kim's family. So she started by herself. My name is Kim. His name is Pete, her brother. Her name is Jasmine, her mother. Our name is Jasmine and Kim. And their names are Judy and Rose, her sisters. So here we do have, or we did listen to these different pronouns when we write these sentences. So I'm going to say these pronouns, and I would like you, when you listen, to repeat them after me. So let's start with the first one. My, your, his, her. My, your, his, her. Very well. Now repeat after me this. Our, your, their. Our, your, their. Very well. So these are the pronouns we use when we introduce our family or our partners. My name is Mazen. Your name is, and his name is Pete, my brother. Her name is Jasmine, my mother. Our names are me and my mother, Jasmine and Mazen. Your names are yourself and your partner, and their names are Judy and Rose, my sisters. Their names are Judy and Rose. So, at the end of this lesson, it is important that you can talk about people and things using my, your, and his. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.